Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ahmed Lamayer. On this video we're gonna continue with the logging. So let's check what other option we have. On a previous video we create a custom log and we log the file. We creating a Java function that we call the function, then we log the file. We have some other option right here. We could use trace. You could directly call trace from any terminal from right here, or you could even put your exception and log your exception, or you have an option to use log4j. This one you could even download it from your what do you call Eclipse Market. Just go to Eclipse Market and type log4j. You could do that as well. Just click on help. You see Eclipse Market and look for log4j and install this plugin. And about log4j I have a video, you could watch that. I'm gonna create one so you could watch. We will work on that, but this also has a note. You could use it as a note if you want. You could download it from there. Log4j, like any other software you want to download, just go to help and download. Let's ignore right now log4j and check what other option. How should we log it? First we have a trace. We could do it through trace. Just connect it to, let's say, any exception that come, we will capture it right here. So when and click on it, there is a like I also have a video you could watch about trace, but how to use it, I cover complete all this option. But right now you could use trace option and file or local error to see that one on a Windows even viewer. But let's use the file. When you pick the file, you need to provide him the destination where you want to save the data. Plus the name of the file you want to save it. For example, I want to save data right here and name it, say, file from trace and .log. Just name it anything. Right below that there's option they call them pattern. On that we have some special way to type the code right here. You could write anything you write right here. This will save. The way you write it, that would save also to file. So whatever you write, it would save the file. Plus, if you want to get some data from your programming language, from one of the compute node or from the one of the node, we have a way to get that as well. Let's double click again. For example, let's say I wanna add current timestamp. We must add $sign plus the bracket. Once we add the bracket, we need to type it. Let's say I want a current timestamp, like whatever time it is, I want to record it. Say current. Also that will say any timestamp you want, like a GMT. There's different type. There's like a time time that time format you could pick. There's a green timestamp. There's like give me the timestamp to millisecond. So current timestamp, and I wanna add same kind of. You could design it the way you like. $sign bracket current timestamp. You could say current timestamp, but I want a specific timestamp. And also you could, like, let's say this one is connected to exception. I want, like, whenever exception come, I want to log all the exception. Let's copy that one. So, and I will say exception detail. You could say input exception details. You could put any information right here. And what you put right here, if you familiar with the ESQL code, let's go back to SQL code. That way you don't forget it. The way I want to type, you will not forget it. Say set So if you wanna connect, you wanna get the input exception list. You see input exception, what do you do? This one repair to ESQL code. You don't need to worry about, you delete that one. You just get this base dictionary, you could call them, just this one. For example, let's say I wanna get output local environment. If I wanna get output local environment, this one repair to SQL code. You just clean that one and just get local environment. Right now I wanna input exception list, so just I wanna add exception list, that's all. You don't need to add input exception list because the trace is not the ESQL. It just, once you mention exception list, if there is an exception, they will capture it for you. That's all you do. Right here I want a current timestamp, that's it. And I would say hint something, you could design it. And so we just put an end, like if there's an exception we will lock it. And let's say for example, because we log the information, I want to copy the one, let's repaste it, that become trace2. I want to connect to a terminal 1, and we could do same thing right here as I said it, because for example we could create a procedure. Let's say you do not need to create a procedure, but also it is better always to create a procedure because you might use it many times. Say save, let's take that one out. Save the data from trace something, you could name it, save data from trace. And all I need to do, just I will send the data right here and log it. Let's say I want to use log and use it as a character. So what I will do, I want to use local environment. I would say local, because the reason I'm using local environment, because if I use an environment, I will show you how to use the environment too. Because the environment save data on a cache. When you delete it, that would not delete till the message flow is completely complete. So what we use output local environment. I want to use output local environment. Dot, I will call them log. Whatever log is coming right here, I want to pass it right here. So the data we passed it, they will come. But you could use a local environment as well. For example, let's say instead of an environment, let's say I will say environment. You could use this one as well. Right here I'm using it to show you. I say data from environment. Right here, the reason I'm using it to show you how to use it. But if you do not need this one, you don't need to use it, because this one would if you're using a lot of environment, they will make you slow. So just make sure you 100% need that one to use the environment, because it is kind of expensive. The output local environment, I want to use it right here. So whenever I call this procedure and place the data and place it right here, then get it from this location. So I'm gonna call this, if you wanna call that one from and what I will do is say propagate to terminal, I will say 1 because we put it on 1. Whenever we call them, we send data and save data. And what I will say, I'm gonna call, I say call this procedure. You could, for example, let's say we just say request arrive. You could say there's some log some data. Say application gets to log some data. Right now I want to put something right here, log something. I say, for example, the time you the payload is received, just say payload is received. The time you do different thing, step by step, you calling this procedure, and log your detail. So that way if anything happen, you read the detail, you will find the issue. So there's a log procedure. I save it. What I did, you see right here as a terminal 1, it will come right here. If it's exception, it will come right here, but I need to change right here this one, because this is not the exception. Let's click on that and click on that, make the one a little bit bigger. You will see it, because instead of environment, because we did use the local environment. So as I said it, this part is applied for the ESQL. What we need to do, we need to take the base. I'm gonna take the base. Let's go back to the trace and paste it right here. So local environment, I say input detail from I will put it like that, that way you see it. Local environment without environment. And second, again, because we use the environment right here, because this is a base word, we take everything right here and come back to a trace. If you want to use it right here, say environment, you could pass the data right here. Say so data from, could say, so the reason I name it like that, that way you say, they say data from environment, data from local environment, because the reason I do that way is make it clear that this data where that come from and this data where that come from. So everything is done. And also you don't need to do like this way. What do? You need to also create, if you want to do it, just create another subflow or another library and add it there. Like you could call them anytime, that would be your exception or locker. Call that one anytime, that will lock, but it's not recommended. Usually on a production, they do not recommend the trace to log the file. There's a different one, and also there's a way to use as I said it, file in Footnote. Just create another application. Instead of that, you could invoke the file application and use the file. See this one, you could use the file and you could just create that one anytime. You could invoke the file and save the data. You have a lot of options to log the detail. There is a you could invoke that and save it through this one, file. But let's do it, this is the simplest one. You could that one also put it on a library, and also you could put it on a what do you call it, you could put it on a subflow. You could even put it on a different application and invoke it to save, to lock your detail. So this is one way you have a, I mean my point is you have many ways to lock your detail. Let's deploy our application and see. Okay, it's all fine. Once again, because sometimes it do not take it, and I'm gonna just clean, and what I said, copy that one, and we're gonna paste it right here. What else you could do, like check the, also sometimes the port number is changed. It's 70, okay, that's fine. 80, 70, let's send it. You see, we send it many times, so check, see file from trace, see many times we send it. Input local environment null, okay, we will check why is null, and this is also null. Many times we check it, does not. Let's put a debugger on why is null. And if you see this one, when you put that one, just redo it, it will go away, or just remove your point from right here. Let's send it once again, and get into it. What just happened? Let's complete that one and get into, I think you see right here we put local environment 2 times. We need to put just environment. I think that should be good. Let's read on it. The main problem is because if we want to use the local environment, we must also change the compute node from a message to local environment, or either you put local environment and message. That's the reason, because we use it but we do not change it, and that's the main reason, because the data doesn't save. That's because I usually 2 times deploy it. Let's clean it again and gonna send it. Okay, let's revoke the, just complete it and check the file. Now you say log some data, but this is null. We will check why, but right now at least it's get better. Now it's fine, it's running. I think all is look good, but for some reason log, let's check log. Let me copy whatever it is right here and bring it to a trace. So now there shouldn't be any problem. Once again, and let me remove that one because I don't need it. Let's save it 2 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's fine. See, from an environment, that I think the spelling was wrong, and that all is fine. So you could log it like that as well. So also, once again, you have a menu option. You could create another application, put all your trace node and invoke it, or you could use the file node and do the same thing, or you could use the database node to save data on database node, because usually either two way, you save the data on a file or you save a data on a database. So it is all up to you. So you have many choice to use trace, to use file, to use database, and all this type of stuff. So see you on the next video.